Welcome to the Radical Success Podcast, where we focus on internal transformation to experience external results. I'm your host and coach, Doreen Rainey. Join me each week for insightful messages and powerful interviews to equip you to take bold, courageous, and radical action to live the life you want and deserve.
Hello and welcome. This is episode 2 of the Radical Success Podcast, and this is your host and your coach, Doreen Rainey. I am excited to come to you with another conversation around how internal transformation can lead to external results. I am a strong believer that everything that you want to achieve in life is predicated on what's going on the inside of you. And so I know that there are a ton of podcasts out there, and you may be wondering, why should you give this podcast your time and your energy and your effort? And I want you to know that I created this podcast for a very specific type of person. And if you are this person, then you are definitely in the right place to really understand how to define success for yourself and get the guts to go after it. So this podcast is for anyone who is a purpose-driven goal getter. This is for those who have audacious aspirations and a big thirst to implement what it takes to advance in every area of their lives. So if that's you, if you have some big dreams, a big vision around your career, around your business, when it comes to your finances or relationships, or even just around your own personal growth, becoming more confident, becoming more assertive, becoming more of the authentic self that is inside of you, then you're in the right place. And every week, I strive to bring insights and new perspectives and a new way of looking at your life so that you can live more radically, so that you can look at what does success look like for you, so that you can be equipped to go out there and make it happen, whatever your it is. You know, I want to help you live in a more deep and powerful way, so that you can move from where you are to ultimately where you want to be. And so if that sounds like you, then welcome aboard. We are just getting started. And in the work that I do in my coaching practice, the core of that, the foundation of that is my radical success method. And it is a transformative process that I take my clients through that allows them to gain a better understanding of who they are and why they are, so that as they go out and passionately pursue their goals, they do it in the most authentic way, reducing that overwhelm, that stress, and that frustration. And many times, people who have goals, they become challenged. They become challenged in certain areas. And my goal, my mission, my job is to help them overcome those challenges so that they can continue to move forward in action. So let's go ahead and take a quiz of sorts. You know, I want to share with you 5 challenges that many of my clients face when it comes to reaching their goals. And you can see if any of these challenges resonate with you. So challenge number 1 is being an information junkie. We live in a society where we are one Google search away from finding out anything we need to know right at our fingertips. We can look up how to build a business, how to market our business, how to advance in your career, how to build wealth, how to have a better marriage, how to parent your children, how to be more confident. I mean, any question you have, you are seconds away from finding the answer. And when you add that to reading books or going to workshops and conferences, when you add that to talking to friends and family or doing informational interviews, man, oh man, the amount of information that you can collect that tells you how to do what it is you say you want to do, oh man, that stat gets really, really high. And the challenge comes in when you take in all of that information, but you still struggle to implement. You're an information hoarder and not very much of an action taker. So that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2, do you really struggle at times to leverage your skills, your abilities, your talents, and your gifts in a way that creates lasting positive change? You know that you've got the goods, right? You understand that what you want to accomplish, you're very much equipped to do. Yet being able to leverage all of that on a consistent basis becomes challenging for you. Now here's challenge number 3. See if this one resonates with you. Do you really need to identify so that you can eliminate the things that are holding you back? Are there some fears that you have? Are there some barriers that you're facing? And while you might be aware of them, you're just really, really challenged to figure out how to overcome them once and for all so that you can move forward in a way that allows you to achieve what you want. And how about challenge number 4? Are you a stop starter? Which means that one day you are on fire for your goals. One day you are giving it 110%, but then other days, not so much. You struggle to stay motivated, you struggle to stay inspired, and you find yourself starting and working really hard on your goals for a period of time and then slacking off. And then you tap into some motivation or some inspiration and then you get started again. But you just haven't found that place where you can be consistent day in and day out. And then the final challenge that some of my clients face that may resonate with you is that they haven't been able to really fully step out of their comfort zone and take the necessary risk they know they need to take to really make it happen. And so if any of those resonate with you, 1, 2, 3, or even all 5, I just want to say that you are not alone. It is not uncommon for people who have a big vision, who have a big goal, to have to find a way to move through the challenges that can be holding them back. It's not uncommon for people to figure out, how do I take all of this information that I've gathered and do something with it? It's not uncommon for people to constantly want to question, how can I leverage my skills, my knowledge, my abilities? I know I'm capable. How can I get out there and make it happen? It's not uncommon for people to have to dig deep and figure out what fears are they dealing with? What barriers do they really need to overcome? What internal transformation do they need to have to really get where they want to be? And it's definitely not uncommon to know that you need to step out of your comfort zone, to take some risk, to really experience the results that you want. But I've got some good news for you. I am not going to leave you hanging. I am not going to expose some challenges that you may be facing when it comes to achieving your goals and not equip you to overcome them. And so today on the podcast, I'm actually starting a 3-part series that will help you overcome the barriers that keep you from achieving your biggest goals. And part 1, we're going to look at your head or your heart. The goals that you've set, the things that you've been pursuing, are they head goals or are they heart goals? And having that distinction makes a huge difference in your ability to go out there and passionately and consistently do the things you need to do to make those goals your reality. And so let's talk about the distinction between our head goal and our heart goal. You know, head goals are goals that come from external sources. Think about the goals that you have. Why do you have those goals? Do you have them because someone else, has that goal? And so they're excited about it and it's good for them. And so you've kind of taken on that goal for yourself. Are you starting a business because someone else, started a business? Do you want to run a marathon because someone ran a marathon? Are you looking to write a book or take a particular curriculum in school or join a particular organization because someone has that goal? And the challenge with that, of course, is you're taking on someone else's goals and making them your own just because it sounds good. Do you have a head goal because your family says this is what you should do? Do you have people who are close to you saying, well, you definitely have to finish college. You definitely have to take this job or be in this industry or pursue this career. Oh, well, you definitely need to be with this type of person. Oh, this is what you should do with your finances. This is how you should save. This is where you should live. Have your goals kind of been adopted because of the people around you? And another way to assess whether you have head goal is if you've had the goal for a long time, but you haven't made any real progress towards it. Maybe you are someone who does a vision board. Vision boards have a place to help us see where we're headed. And so people make vision boards and they cut out pictures and they get their magazines and they have glitter and glue and tape. And some vision boards I've seen are absolutely stunning. And you take a picture of that vision board and you put it on your phone and you put it in your office and you have it where you could see it pretty much all the time. But for some people, they made a vision board in 2016. And then when 2017 came around, they just pulled off the 6 and added the 7 because they hadn't made any real progress. And then when 2018 rolled around, they may have pulled off the 7 and replaced it with an 8 because the goals, the pictures, the vision, it hasn't changed because you haven't made any real progress. And so if you have vision boards that remain the same year after year, if you have some goals that have come from your family expectations, if you have some goals because you saw someone else do it and you thought it might be good for you, those could be head goals. And head goals don't ever get the real attention, time, and effort required to make it come to fruition. And so we want to make sure that we have a heart goal. Heart goals are authentic goals. And I know that word is thrown around quite a bit in our industry, live authentically, set authentic goals, have an authentic life. But there is something to that. Authenticity is one of the strongest motivators that you can have. And when we talk about being authentic, it's really about being genuine. It's really about representing your true nature, who you really are on the inside, who you were created to be, what fully represents and maximizes your gifts and your talents and your abilities. When you set goals around that, everything can begin to shift for you. And so I want you to question all of the goals that you have. I want you to look at your career, the goals that you set. Are they authentic? If you are an entrepreneur, and you've set some goals around revenue or clients or the type of products and services you want to offer or the way that you're going to market your business, ask yourself, are these authentic to me? I want you to look at your relationships, the goals that you have, how you want your communication and your friendships, all of that to be around your relationships. Are those goals authentic to you? Take a look at your finances. When you think about how you want your lifestyle to be, when you think about your investments, building wealth, what authentic goals do you have? So the one question I want you to ask yourself so that you can determine whether you have head goals or heart goals is, why do you want what you want? When we have head goals, we can struggle to stay motivated. When we have head goals, it's very easy to fall into the trap of procrastination or to be someone that starts and stops, starts and stops, starts and stops. When we have goals that really aren't authentic for us, it can be a challenge to implement and execute on all the information that we have. So the first thing we want to do is really get clear on what are our heart goals. Why do we want what we want? How do these goals align with my values, with my purpose, with my gifts? How do these goals align with the impact that I want to have, not only in my own life, but in my family, in my community, in the world? And it's only when you begin to answer that question can you begin to identify that you, in fact, have heart goals that are worthy of all of the work and effort it's going to take to make them your reality. And so I hope that you've gained some some takeaways, some nuggets from episode 2 of the Radical Success Podcast. We are just getting started in this series. We've just wrapped up part 1, which is head or heart goals. Join me for our next episode where we'll be talking about step 2, which is all around prioritizing you. And so if this podcast has been impactful for you, if you've gotten some great ideas, perspectives, or insights from it, I would love to hear from you. You can find me at DoreenRainey.com and of course on social at Doreen Rainey. And please go over to iTunes and give us a rating and leave us a review. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, stay radical.
Thanks for listening to the Radical Success Podcast. We would love to hear from you. Be sure to head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Until next time, stay radical.